Okay, hello, happy stampers. You're not going to see my face tonight. I am not sure what is happening, but it is not working on my phone. So let me know if you are hearing an echo. I am just setting up here. Okay, I don't know why my phone is not working, so you do not see my picture, my face tonight. Right? No. So, how is everybody doing? It is chilly here, and I get to spend a few hours late afternoon working in the yard today. I am just trying to make sure we're all set up here. And I am quite chilled this evening. I had two sweatshirts on today and I took one off. And it's a little chilly, but I think we will make it through. So say hello as you come on. Welcome to my Facebook viewers. If you're watching on replay and you watch, please mark replay. Please share this with your friends that love to stamp and love learning new things. And if you're watching me on my YouTube channel, welcome. And be sure to subscribe and share so you don't miss out on anything when I come on. I am on every Tuesday and Thursday. And I pop in some other videos on YouTube every once in a while also. So welcome. I am so happy that you all are with me this evening. And yeah, so many of you have asked me about our cotton paper. So I thought I would share that with you this evening. And hang on just a second. Oh, sorry. I thought I had grabbed the card that I had done last week, a week ago Tuesday on my Facebook Live, showing you a little bit to do with the cotton paper, and that brought lots and lots of questions up. And I thought I brought my card over, but I don't see it, but it might be underneath my jumble of stuff. I have all kinds of stuff here tonight because we're going to be playing tonight. I am not going to be making a card. I kind of went between, oh, do I want to show them what they can do with it, or do I want to show them and make a card? So showing you guys a bunch of different techniques, one out. So I am using our cotton paper, and this comes, you get 10 sheets, and you get 5 sheets of the soft succulent and 5 of the evening evergreen. And it is part of the Eden's Garden collection that was made available to customers yesterday. No, 2 days ago, Tuesday. I forgot today is Thursday. And this product is one of the products that's available while quantities last. So it looks like something that you really want to play with, and something catches your eye tonight, be sure to purchase it. I have a host code going across the bottom, and when you use that host code, I send you 4 hand stamped cards. It's an assortment of cards that I do send to you with a minimum $40 purchase, and you can buy those. You can go to judystamps.com and click on the Shop Now button on the right hand side, and it'll bring you to my store. So here's some pieces. I just cut up some multiple pieces tonight. I thought, you know what, I'm not going to make cards, so I'm just going to use some scraps. And then what I'm going to do over the next couple days, I am going to use these technique pieces that I used tonight in some cards, and I will share those on my blog, which is judystamps.com. Okay, so what do we want to start with? Let's start with this piece, and this is just a 4x4 piece of the cotton paper, and it is textured on one side a little bit, it's not real smooth, and then on the other side it's shiny. You can stamp on either side. I have not, let's try stamping on the shiny side first, okay? I've only stamped on the back side and done things on the back side, but not the front. So the first one is going to be just basic stamping on tissue paper. Now, I have, many years ago, I did a tutorial on stamping on tissue paper, but it was white tissue paper. This is soft succulent. So when you pick your colors for this, you are going to need to pick colors that are dark that will show up on there. And I am grabbing my Stamparatus. Now, the other day I showed you stamping, and this is not the right size for this, but I'm going to make it work. Just because I want to do a couple things with this one here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it in here. I want to get an image, and we are going to use this leaf image. And I am just going to center it right here. And we're going to put it down. So this is going to be very similar to another card that I brought to you, but we're going to do on tissue paper, or not tissue paper, or cotton paper instead. And I am going to take the Evening Evergreen to this. And I'm just going to ink it up and then stamp down. Just like that. And you know what? And like I said, I've never stamped on this side before. So it seems that the color does not pick up real well on the shiny side. See how light it is? It's light and real person like that too. So I am going to flip it over. You know, that's what we're here. It's all about is just learning. Here we go. And there we go. You know, it's not really much darker on this side, but that's a-okay. You know what? Instead of the soft succulent, I'm going to switch up here. I mean, not the soft succulent, the Evening Evergreen. It doesn't seem to be showing up real well. So I'm going to try the Night of Navy, and I can stamp over that piece, that image, just by lining this up again and going right on top of that one. And there we go. The Night of Navy shows up much better. So if you're stamping, once again, just stamping on it, you will need definitely a darker color. I like that it's not a real deep. This is just going to add some texture as a background. Okay, and we're just going to keep going around, just making a wreath. And as you can see, even though this piece does not fit into my template, I am using my template and just centering it on there. Oh, I am loving this. I love the softness of it and that it's not real dark. And my first image is going to be dark, but that's okay. When I make my card, I will make sure that that particular image blends in. So I'm just going to go around like that, and I'm just making a wreath with one of the leaf images. Okay, so we have a wreath. Okay, it's gorgeous, but we're not done with this. Okay, so now, as with our a tissue technique, you like it wrinkled. So we are going to take this and crinkle it up. And yeah, we could use regular soft succulent paper, but it doesn't crinkle this easy. I just love this look. It gives it texture. Just be careful when you're opening it up. And this is stronger than tissue paper, so you don't have to be quite as careful as you are with tissue paper. We're going to turn that around. And now with those wrinkles, in there, you see the images even less, but they're there. You can't see them real well on camera. There you go, because they're so light, but I like that it's a background because we are going to be doing something more with this. Now I am going to grab the large floral pattern here, and I wanted the crinkles in it, okay? And we are going to stamp this with our Whisper White Craft. So we are going to ink this up, and then we are going to emboss it. Okay, so we're going to put this right in the center. Now I can tell you, if you use the Evening Evergreen and emboss it in gold or silver, it is gorgeous. We're going to do this one, I think, with silver. So let me grab my silver embossing powder here. And it's very light on here. Okay, we're going to just take that and dump that back in. And as you can see, it is crinkled up, so it's not a real solid image. Let me flick this just a little bit. Did you see all that come off? I could see it here. You may not be able to see it on camera. You'll see it in a minute. I'll have to clean that off. And let's heat this up. It's going to be a little bit loud. And it's going to take a minute, but look at that. Look as it comes. Look at that image popping out. Now this is very subtle. Okay. Now it is very subtle, and there you can see it there, but we do have that floral image on there. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry up a little bit, and let me dump this embossing powder. I think I would have liked it better in gold or a darker color than the silver, but it's still okay, you guys. It's still okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now I am going to take a piece of 4x4 basic white. And for this, I'm going to need a little bit of water. And I've got my water in a cup here. And that is in one of my toppers from my storage pieces. And I am going to get a silicone mat because this is going to be messy. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of my palettes, knives, and I am going to take some of my liquid glue, just like that. And we're going to spread that all over here. We're just going to spread that over our basic white. I have a feeling that I might have a little bit too much on here. Okay, so we have that. I am going to clean that off right away with some water and a paper towel because I don't want that all over my palette. Okay, and let's take our paper, which is crinkled, and we're going to set it over the top. Now, you don't want to work all those crinkles and wrinkles out. You just want to pat this down so you have all those wrinkles. Okay, so we have that. And I'm noticing that we are losing that stamping on this paper. So my recommendation would be to emboss on it. I want this rubbed down really good so it sticks and I don't have any bubbles. Seems I need a little bit of glue up here. So let's just put some glue and work that once again with your palette knife. So when you work your palette knife with the glue, you do want to leave glue on there. And see how that's sticking down now? That is awesome. Okay, just going to clean my knife off. And then in my little dish, I'm just going to pick up that glue. Okay, now, like I said, that color didn't show up a whole lot on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blending brush. And you know what, you guys? Just play with this. This, like, I have not done this. I've done it with tissue paper before, but I have not done it with our cotton paper. So we are all learning tonight. So I'm going to take my blending brush and just get some ink on there and then just go around the edge here. And look how that's making that pop. Oh my gosh, what a difference, right? And then you're going to want this to dry. Okay, we've got that. And then I'm going to buff it just like stamp resist embossing. We're going to buff that. And look how that silver pops back out again. Okay, so it doesn't look like much right now, but it's wet, so I can't do any more stamping on it. I am going to work with that image just a little bit, but you can see that image on there. And it is gorgeous in person, you guys. It's just gorgeous. So that's one thing you can do. So with this, I did stamp a wreath, but I will tell you that that image did not come out real well. I'm wondering if a more solid image would come out. So what I'm going to do is I do have my Nature's Harvest stamp set here. Because I almost used that tonight. I thought, oh, what do I want to use? Let me just pick up some Night of Navy and see if we can add some texture to the background if it shows up more with a more solid image. And it may. Oh, it does. Look at that. You can see that. So I am going to stamp kind of all over. Definitely. So, lesson learned, if you use a more solid image, don't use a distinctive stamp on it. You can stamp on it and it does show up. Now I'm going to buff off that ink once again very carefully because now if this was tissue paper, I'd have to do it real soft. But I am pressing medium hard on that. But look at that. What a gorgeous background. I bet you can't wait to see what I do with that later. So I will make a card with that and I will post it on my blog. Second technique. Let me clean off my stamps here. And my silicone mat. We don't want ink all over our projects, right? So that was embossing and stamping on it. And I want to get this white off of here. So I do need to scrub it just a little bit. If you let the white set too long on your stamps, it's really hard to get off. Okay. So that was embossing. The other day, I showed you how to use a Stampin' Sponge and glue and our gilded gold gilding. Tonight, we are going to use the heat and stick powder. Okay, so we're going to work with the heat and stick powder. So you are using a little bit more different products tonight. So you're going to get a little bit more than just the cotton paper, right? So let me see. Let's use the gold. And we will use the larger Evening Evergreen. Okay, so we're going to use, once again, the heat and stick powder. So we do need to use our embossing buddy on the back. And we are going to use our gold embossing powder. So we're going to use a couple products. And let's see how they turn out on this. Now, once again, I do like using the cotton paper because it's easier to crinkle. Okay, you can use it flat, but I feel personally that texture is great on here. And the crinkling gives you different effects. So let's ink this up. And we are going to put one of these up in the corner. And then I want to take some of the leaves and let me get them out. See which one. Let's use this one here. That will fit on here. So I want to add some of these coming down and around. And I am not pressing too hard with my stamps because these stamps do have a tendency, I trimmed them down, but they do leave a little bit of a ring around, or a halo as I call it. Okay, we're going to take this other leaf, and I'm hoping you can kind of see the images on here. I'm just going to fill in some areas because I want it more solid here. And we'll do this one here. Okay, so I left this quadrant open. And okay, so I'm going to emboss first with the gold. So let's get the gold on here, because this would be a whole lot of gilding. And you could use the gilding. Don't get me wrong. So just pile this gold on here. Okay, I am just going to dump it off right onto my silicone mat. I should have another piece of graph paper underneath. Let's just flick that off. And there's your images. So let's heat those up. I am going to move this because I just know if I left it there, oh my gosh, we would have a mess on our hands. I would have embossing powder heated all over. I'm just going to hold this. I don't want to get it on this mat. I have heated this mat up and it's wobbly. So let me remove that very carefully, and then we can heat it right on my countertop. That might be easier tonight to work on my countertop. And once again, you don't want to wave your heat tool around. Whoa. Just want to hold it until it starts melting. There, we've got to heat it up. And look at it popping. I don't know, I've said it many times, but heat embossing is one of my favorite things to do. It just gives you that wow factor right away, and your friends are simply amazed. Okay, I am noticing that my embossing powder is not heating real evenly. And I do not know why that is. I don't want to burn my paper. So what I am going to do is I'm going to try to stamp over that again. And get that on there. Oh, what a thing to happen while you're live, right? Okay, so let's see if Judy can line this up. Oh, you know, I haven't had to do this for years. Oh my gosh. Not that I haven't made any mistakes. I hope that's good. Let me get that. I think it just dried a little bit too quick and it flew off. Oh, but it's sticking to my silicone mat. That would not be my first choice to dump it onto. Dump that all off. Let's heat this up again. There we go. Much better. Whoops. Okay. Now I am noticing that it's looking a little bit dark in some spots, but believe me, it's shiny all over. I'm just looking here. Oops, I did miss a little bit right here. I'm going to do this off camera because I can't see it on camera. There we go. Okay, so we have that. Gorgeous, right? Now, let's do some, I'm going to bring my mat over here. We are going to be doing some gilding on the other corner right down here. So I'm going to use my heat and stick powder, and let me see what image I want down there. Well, I'm going to go ahead and use one of the leaves, and let's just see. This is just playing with it just to see what it looks like. So let's get that on there real good. Let's put some of our heat and stick on there. This stuff seems to grow in the container. It's kind of, we used to carry this years ago, and every time I opened my jar, it was like overflowing and full. So we have that image like that. Now we want to heat this up from the bottom just enough to melt that heat and stick powder. And just until it turns clear, just like that. That is it. If you heat it more than that, your gilding won't stick because it's no longer a glue. Okay, let's just get our gilding on there and rub it around. We may need a little bit more. Let's see. This piece right here. And put it on and rub it off. Okay, so that's the gilding, the gold gilding. And now we're going to heat set that because we want that glue to set. So once again, we're going to go from the bottom. You could go from the top, and you just need to hold it on for a second until that sets. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I want to crinkle this up. Once again, that is primarily why I am using my copper paper. And let's see how that comes out. Voila! Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, now I'm going to leave it kind of crinkled, and I'm just going to take my Versamark pad and do some dots here, just in different areas. I'm going to pick up some of that embossing powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. Very lightly. I just want this as a background. Adding to the kind of vintagey look, I guess, artistic look. Let's heat that up. I am going to use this. And as you can see, it's just a little bit of splashing. I think this is gorgeous. And so you can use either your gold gilding or your embossing powder. Okay, I will do something with that in a card and post it for you. So we have two things that we've done. We have embossed silver, and believe it or not, I lost that piece. It flew when I picked up, oh, here it is. And we stamped on it and glued it to a piece of cardstock. Now you can just tape that. I am going to move this silicone mat because, believe it or not, let me see. Let's do it this way. We're just going to dump it all on here because I don't want my embossing powder all over. Just going to fold this and dump it right in. Okay, gold embossing powder, put away. Okay, so next, how about stenciling and your paste? I think this is going to be so much fun and absolutely gorgeous. I've got the trees right here. Oh, if I can get it out of my packaging. It is stuck. There we go. And I have another piece of our cotton paper. Okay, so this I am just going to put down here. I am going to adhere it with a little bit of adhesive. Just grabbing it out. Okay. I'm just going to put that right there. And then take our stencil, and I am going to, so when I'm laying my stencil down, I'm not, you could stencil the edge, have the edge, but then everything would be covered except for that top edge, and you could trim it down and just, or you can move it up to the next line, and then you wouldn't have to worry about trimming that piece. Let me cover up my heat and stick powder, and we have grabbed our paste. So we could leave it white, but no, I don't want to leave it white. Or do I? Do I want to leave it white? I was going to color it with crushed curry because I am thinking of a fall scene with this, but it could be a winter scene. So let's just put this on here so it's straight. I'm going to pick up some of my paste. Now, some of you have asked, how do you keep your paste soft? My secret is I put a little bit of water in there, and then I take a piece of saran wrap or plastic wrap and push it down against there. Now, you don't need much. I'm lining this up to the line above, and we're just going to smear this right on there. And you can do it as thick or as thin as you want. And I am probably going to use this for some gift wrap. It's going to be a small gift, right? Probably a box top. Oh, that reminds me of cereal. When we were kids, save your box tops. Oh my gosh. But this is the glitter embossing paste. And I'm just making sure I fill all the crevices all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. Now, you're going to notice that it does look a little green. And that's because I am putting it on a little bit thinner. So, and the glitter in it is picking up the green from underneath, from the cotton paper. But I am going to cover a piece of cardstock with this. You could do it on plain cardstock, but you know, we're playing with the cotton paper, just seeing what you can and can't do with it. We know that the distinctive stamps we learned tonight do not do well on this paper to stamp just because it's not white. If it was white, I think it would have worked. Okay, I'm going to lift this up very carefully. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, if you're at home, you want to wash this off as soon as possible. I have a cup of water here and some paper towels that I'm just going to set right there. Okay, this needs to dry. But once again, I am hopefully not going to tear this when I lift it up because it's wet. If you do it gently, you can lift that up. Okay, I need to let that dry. And then I'm going to crinkle it and use it for gift packaging. So that's 4 things we've done with this tonight already. And the 5th thing is just using it like it is. Okay, and it does not tear like our mulberry paper. It is quite a bit stronger than the mulberry paper. So if you do want a ragged tore edge, what I would recommend doing, and I had a little paintbrush out here and I have lost it. So I am just going to use my, oh, that's my Wink Stella. Just going to use one of my brushes. And I don't have water in it, so I'm just going to use some water that I have here. And I am going to wet it. Now, can you guys see that water repelling its little dots? So it is not soaking in. Oh, and I did not realize that. So it is not soaking. It's actually repelling, but it is beginning to soak in. So it does take a little bit to soak in. So you just want to keep brushing it with water. And then when we tear, it is giving you that ragged look. Okay, so if that is something you want to do, water your brush. Just use one of your water brushes and just, actually tearing it like this works best. You just don't want any square edges. Just keep tearing it just like that. And you're going to get, oops, that is with the grain. Okay, so I talked about that the other day, that there is definitely a grain to this paper, and I'm going to tear that edge in a minute. I'm going to give that water some time, but I want this just to crinkle up. Now you don't need to wet it to crinkle it. It does not, the fibers do not, aren't real stiff. Okay, so this edge came out better than this edge did, but I'm still okay with that. So sometimes with papers, we will tell you that you should spritz it with water a little bit to break down those fibers. And with this paper, you do not need to do that. Now, I need to cut one more piece here because there is one more thing I want to show you tonight. Now, you will notice on when you go to my website that they have, as part of the display for advertising this collection, they have a present that has a bow on it. And I just found my card. I told you I had it out. I'll show you this card again before I do this next thing. So this is the card I did the other day. Just to remind you, and this is the cotton paper back there that I tore, crinkled up, and I used the glue with the gilding to put it on that. And those that have seen this card in person can't believe how gorgeous it is. They told me that the camera did not do it justice. So what I'm doing here is I am cutting 5/8 inch strips. You could cut whatever size you want and whatever. I would normally make them longer. It's just I had cut my paper into a 4-inch strip because that's more economical. And since these are shorter, I should probably make them thinner than keeping them long like that. But we have that. Then what we're going to do is you can grab a dowel, a pencil works good. And what I'm going to do is you could spritz this, or you can just take your water brush and lay some water on it, just like that, and wrap it around a pencil. And yeah, these should be really thinner. And I am just going to wrap them like that. I'll do a couple of them, and then I will actually dry them with my heat gun, but you could just do this, let them set overnight. I am wetting the unshiny side. Okay, so you know, I am wetting the unshiny side. And I'm just going down, just making little curly cues. And it'll stick right to your pencil there because it's wet. Let's go here with this. Oh, I can't wait to create some cards with these tomorrow and show them to you. So fun. Okay, so you guys are getting the idea. You just wrap them all around. I am going to get my heat gun and we are going to dry these. Oops. Starting to come undone already. I would probably leave them overnight. Well, this one is dry. And see how it's wrinkled? How it is a curly cue, just like that. This one in particular, I don't want to use a mechanical pencil. It does not have enough room to wrap it down. So we'll just grab this pencil. And I hardly even wet these, you guys. So you could take them, you could wrap them around like this, hold it, and take your spritzer bottle and spritz them. But let me grab my heat gun because I want to dry these to show you. And I think that the wetter that they are, and of course, you know, I would do them longer. That's just the piece that I had cut. Okay. So we have these little, look at how tight that one is. And this one is too. So this one could have probably stayed on longer. I'm probably going to cut the strips a little bit thinner, but you could use these on a card. You could use these as a bow on packaging. And if I cut this with the grain, which I did not, but if I cut these with the grain, I could have just tore those. I'm going to tell you right now, because it does tear fairly easy on the grain. And I am, you know, it doesn't matter if they're straight, if they're the same size. Let me wrap this around the pencil again. And heck, I could glue them together. I could probably just start it right underneath there. Even though they're not the same size, that's okay. So we're just going to take it and wrap it and continue to wrap it. And I'm going to take my brush with the water, just put a little bit on there so it sticks to that pencil, and see how that'll stick. Now I can continue wrapping it. I'm going to wet this end just a little bit, and then I could even take my brush and wet it while it is on the pencil. And now we're going to dry it. Oh my gosh, it would be so cute. And I know you guys are probably thinking, oh my gosh, it's easier just to buy ribbon and curl it. But if you want your packaging to coordinate and match, I'm always one that under the Christmas tree, all the packages have to match. They don't have to be the same paper, but one year I'll do white and silver. red and gold, green and gold, green and red. So I'll do different patterns in those colors. But these are so cool. I'm going to use these on a card. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but definitely do those on a card. So that just gives you some ideas on what you can do with our cotton paper. And once again, my phone view is not working tonight. Unfortunately, I am sorry about that. But until next time, everybody, don't forget, happy stamping, and you can purchase these items on my website. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.